Okay, let's get straight to it. Today we're tackling something, well, pretty universal, really. How do you build a good social circle, a solid professional network, especially if talking to new people feels, yeah, really intimidating?
Right, like climbing a cliff, you said.
Exactly. So we've dug into a really great interview. It's with Jamie Clark. He's a networking coach and author from the English podcast show. And we're pulling out some, practical stuff from that.
Yeah, think of this as kind of a toolkit. If you're listening and you feel like maybe shyness or just not knowing how to start has held you back,
Yeah.
our goal here is to give you some actual steps you can take and maybe shift how you think about it a bit.
Okay.
So connecting feels less like this big, scary performance and more like something, well, achievable, maybe even, enjoyable.
Enjoyable networking. Imagine that. Okay, so Jamie Clark starts somewhere maybe a bit unexpected. He says the first kind of hurdle, it isn't about suddenly becoming super extroverted.
Mhm.
It's more about just consistently being there,
Yeah.
showing up, and really developing a genuine interest in other people.
Hmm.
That's key. Yeah, he makes this distinction. It's about being interested, not trying so hard to be interesting.
And this is fascinating, isn't it? Because when you focus on understanding someone else, like what they think, what they've experienced, it just naturally builds that connection,
Right.
trust. And that's really the foundation. It means you don't have to feel like you need to be constantly on or impressive.
Yeah, that whole performative thing often just falls flat anyway.
Totally.
Okay, so practical moment. You're, say, in a coffee shop. The thought of starting a chat feels. Jamie suggests these super simple things he calls contextual openers.
Okay.
Just a quick comment about where you both are, like, have you tried the cold brew here? Simple.
Right. Or if you're at a work thing.
Yeah, maybe just, so how do you know the host? It's just about breaking the ice initially, not a whole speech.
And that's brilliant because it taps
Yeah.
into something you both share right then and there.
Hmm.
That shared reality
Mm-hmm.
is really low stakes, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's about the present moment, it doesn't require you to reveal anything personal straight away. It's almost like saying, hey, we're in the same boat right now.
Yeah, I like that. And what about online? For those who maybe feel a bit safer starting behind a screen.
Good question. He covers that too.
Jamie has tips for places like LinkedIn or, virtual meetups.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is similar. Keep messages short, keep them human, mention maybe a shared connection or something specific they posted.
Personalization.
Exactly. Like, hey, I really like your post about X topic, would love to connect. The big rule here, don't jump straight into a sales pitch or be overly formal. Just be normal.
Yeah, and the nice thing about doing it online first is it lowers that initial barrier, right?
Definitely.
You get a moment to actually think about what you want to say. It avoids that sometimes intense face-to-face pressure and mentioning something specific. That shows you've actually paid attention.
Mm.
It signals real interest, much better than just a, generic let's connect message.
Yeah, those generic ones are easy to ignore. Okay, but let's talk about the elephant in the room. Rejection.
Yeah,
It happens.
it does. And Jamie's really practical here.
Yeah.
He basically says, look, if someone doesn't reply, try not to take it personally.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Oh, for sure. But his point is, people are busy, messages get buried. It's not necessarily about you.
Right.
His advice is kind of dust yourself off, move on, keep going.
Yeah.
He sees building connections as partly numbers you do have to reach out,
Mm-hmm.
but more importantly, it's about quality, focusing on those genuine interactions when they happen.
That's such an important way to frame it. Realizing a non-response is often about their situation, not your worth. That can really dial down the anxiety.
Yeah.
It makes the whole thing feel more like just exploring, Some doors open, some don't. It's okay. Okay, so to make this really concrete, Jamie actually lays out a 5-day challenge, like a step-by-step thing to just get started.
Oh, cool. Let's hear it.
All right. Day 1. Message 3 people online, maybe LinkedIn, maybe Instagram, just with a compliment about something they shared.
Nice and simple.
Day 2. Go to one event, could be local, could be online, something related to your interests or your job.
Okay, getting out there a bit.
Day 3. Post something small in an online community, a quick comment or maybe a question.
Engaging online. Got it.
Day 4. Ask someone for a short, maybe 15-minute virtual coffee chat. Frame it as wanting to learn from them.
The informational interview idea, basically.
Like kind of, yeah. Keep it brief. And day 5. follow up. Anyone you connected with who seemed interesting, send a quick note.
I really like that challenge. It breaks this big, potentially overwhelming goal
Totally.
into these really small daily actions. It gives you structure, builds consistency, and you get to try different things.
You might figure out what actually feels best for you.
Exactly. Which methods work for your style?
Now, here's something I think a lot of people grapple with. That feeling that networking is, well, a bit fake.
Oh, yeah. Transactional.
Yeah.
Like you're just trying to use people.
Exactly that feeling. Jamie tackles this head on. He argues that the best networking, the really powerful kind, comes from genuine curiosity, from actually wanting to offer value to others and thinking long-term about relationships.
Right, not just what you can get right now.
Yeah. He suggests approaching interactions with a mindset of, how can I potentially help this person?
That flips the script, doesn't it?
Completely. It makes it feel much more authentic, less self-serving.
And that how can I help approach is, well, it's kind of transformative. It changes the whole dynamic from getting to giving.
Right.
And maybe counterintuitively, focusing outward like that often leads to much better, more reciprocal connections down the line. It builds that mutual support.
To really hammer this home, Jamie tells this great story about a client, Mia.
Okay.
Apparently, she was incredibly shy, like really struggled with this stuff.
I think a lot of listeners can relate to that.
For sure. So she started super small. Her goal was just sending one online message a day. That's it.
Wow, that's manageable.
Right. But fast forward maybe 6 months or so, she was actually leading a professional networking group.
No way, from one message a day.
Yeah. It just shows how those tiny, consistent actions can build serious momentum and confidence, obviously.
That Mia story is fantastic. It really highlights the power of just starting small and sticking with it. Incremental change. It's a good reminder that you don't need some massive personality transplant. It's about those little steps repeated over time. And that's really encouraging, especially if you feel like you're starting from square one.
Absolutely. So what's the one thing you, listening right now, could do immediately, like today?
The first step.
Jamie gives us a really clear one. He says, just send one message. Text, email, LinkedIn message, whatever. Pick one person you admire or someone you genuinely like to connect with more.
And what do you say?
Just express appreciation for something they've shared or maybe something they've done, and just say you'd like to stay in touch. Simple as that.
Keep it brief. Keep it genuine.
Exactly. He really believes that one single action can start a ripple effect you can't even predict.
That makes sense. It's about overcoming that initial hurdle, isn't it? That inertia.
Yeah.
It's a pretty low-pressure way to just test the waters and maybe, just maybe, open a door to a valuable connection.
So wrapping up this deep dive then, the key takeaway seems to be this. Building your circles, social or professional, even if you're on the shy side, it really boils down to consistent small actions, driven by genuine engagement.
Focus on being truly interested in others.
Right. Initiate simple contact, whether that's online or offline.
And remember that a non-response, it usually isn't personal. Don't let it stop you.
Exactly.
Which brings us to maybe a final thought for you to chew on. Think about that one person, someone whose work or insights you genuinely respect or find interesting. What's one short, simple message you could send them, maybe even today, just to begin building that bridge? And then just consider, what possibilities might that single message unlock for you? Maybe not tomorrow, but down the road.